Hello all, we'll still wait for others to join. Please ask your classmates to join soon. I'll still wait for 2-3 minutes. Okay, we can begin. I don't know why the strength is too much low today. Okay. In the last session, we have started with exceptions, right? Anybody having any queries in what is checked exception? What is unchecked exception? What is error? Yes, everybody is clear with these concepts, right? Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now, I have told you this in the last session also. Whenever the exception is occurring in a particular function or in a particular method, this method is throwing the exception object to the JVM. And JVM is helping, along with this object, it is throwing the message of the exception, the line number at which the exception is occurred, and the description of the exception. Okay, like if it is, if you are accessing, the out of bound element from the array, then it is along with the information, it is printing everything. Okay, if you're accessing a of 5, then as soon as the exception is occurring, no, from this point on itself, the program is going to stop executing. Okay, the program is going to start fine. Okay, the program is starting here, it is starting fine, but as soon as it reaches here, no, it is not going to print that the program is ending over here because it is running out, it's running to the exception. Okay, it is showing the starting point of the program. It is running to the JVM at this point itself. Okay, this method in the body of which this exception is occurring, this method or the block or the scope in which this exception is occurring, this method itself is throwing that exceptions object to JVM, and JVM is handling it in this way. JVM is abnormally terminating the program, and it is showing you the exception class name where the exception is occurring along with the line number here. Okay, and you are accessing which of the bounds of the array. What is not possible for you to access that you are accessing. It is showing the complete information along with the line number at which the exception is currently caused. Okay, now what I am telling is it a good way to handle the exception? Is JVM handling the exception correctly? Can you tell me? Should the program terminate abnormally like this? Is the JVM handling these exceptions properly or not? Or should we do something over there? Tell me. Do you think this should be the proper way to run a program? Do you think if this such kind of exception is occurring, the program should terminate abnormally, right? No, right? There must be some mechanism with which we can handle these exceptions, okay? So currently we are leaving it up to the JVM itself. Currently JVM is handling it in this way, but we don't want the program to abnormally terminate like this, okay? It is not the correct way. You should be able to handle this exception rationally, or you should be able to handle the exception gracefully. You should be able to provide the mechanism over here that if this is happening, then maybe control it in this way. Okay, now this array index out of bound that you are facing over here, no, this exception can be easily handled. See, I am giving you a simple example. Okay, you'll be understanding it with that itself. If you are having this array, okay, and you are simply printing the array. Even in printing, you might have faced this array when you are doing it initially, that you are running till a.length, which is not possible. Okay, you are printing here, a of I. It is definitely going to show you here the exception out of bound itself. The same thing it is going to show you in the previous example, out of bound. Okay, and you are accessing the fourth element, which is not there. Now, with the help of for each loop, I can overcome this limitation. Why? Because in for each loop, you need not to give your length of the array. You are running the for each loop in which way? Same way you are doing it in Python also, same way you can do it in this Java also. You are assuming that, tell me, how are you doing the for each in Python? Do you remember the Python syntax of for each? Do you remember the Python syntax of for each? You're doing this in Python, right? Yes. Can you tell me how are you using the for this advanced for loop in Python? Was it there in Python or not? Okay, fine. So in here, in Java, if you want to use the for each loop and if you want to handle the exception using the for each loop, what you can do, you can write the index here itself. I am creating variable. Okay, we take the variable and store the elements in that. Yes, you are right. Yes, I'm creating a variable I. I am running this variable I for all the values of A. Okay, the for each loop or the enhanced for loop can work like this. I'm taking the variable I, integer I is nothing but the index of the array that you are using it over here. And I'm running this I for all the records of A. I need not to give the starting point of this loop, okay? I need not to give the ending point also of this loop, okay? I can simply print the variable I. It is automatically going to, I'm commenting it right now, the previous code I'm commenting it, okay? I'm simply running the program. This loop, you don't need to give the starting point, you don't need to give the ending point. Automatically, I is going to start, this loop is designed in such a way, you don't need to give the start and end point. Automatically, for all the elements in A, I is going to run for each and every index of the A. For each and every element of the A, I can run. So this for each loop doesn't require or it will never run into array index out of bound whenever you are printing the elements. Okay. But again, the limitation over here is that you cannot make the for each loop run for half of the array or just a first few elements of the array. It is going to parse the complete array. Okay, it is going to parse for the full array. So by this, you can actually overcome the array index out of bound problem. But is it the solution for every single exception? And I'm just giving a solution for one exception, that is array index out of bound. You can do it like this. Again, it is not a complete solution. It is not an ideal solution. So what I am telling is, you will require a mechanism which can handle the exceptions in a proper way. Without terminating the program, you can handle the exceptions in a proper way. Then that kind of mechanism is known as exception handling. Okay. And for exception handling, we can, the complete exception handling, okay, this complete exception and its handling can be solved using 5 different keywords. Now, all these are keywords itself. You have try as a keyword, you have get as a keyword, you have finally as a keyword, you have throws as a keyword, and you have throw as a keyword, okay. With this 5 keywords only, you can handle any of the exception, be it compile time, be it runtime, okay. Any of the exception, checked or unchecked, both, I'm telling about both the category of exceptions, both the category of exceptions again can be handled using these 5 keywords only. With different combinations. I am going to show you what is this, but before I show you that, there will be an interview question also, there will be a question examination also like this. Differentiate between finally and finalize method, okay. This will be a question for sure. There is going to be interview question also. People are asking this question so many times. These questions I even faced in this Oracle's examination. Differentiate, they'll give you some block of code and they'll tell you to, use finally over there or use final keyword over there. So finally is again a different type of exception handling mechanism. Only we're going to see this today, okay. Final we have seen for final variables and in stopping inheritance, we can use this. This is used for garbage collection, and this we are going to use today, okay. With this 5 keywords only, you can handle the complete exception. Now let me show it to you what these keywords mean, okay. I am initially showing you the first keyword, that is try. Try is a block of code where critical statements are placed. Now, if you remember in the last session, I have told you that there could be statements which are, simple statements like initialization. These are simple statements. There will be no error in this, or there will be no exception in this, okay. But there are statements which are critical. Say, for example, I am we are inputting two numbers from user. I am taking the scanner class here, okay? System.in. I am taking a scanner class over here. I am taking the input of two numbers over here, okay? I and J. Say, for example, I am taking two input numbers here, okay? Now, the statement where I want to give the answer of this division, I want to put I divided by j. If without try I am handling integer answer equals to I divided by j, and I want to print the answer. That's all I want to do. I just want to divide two numbers and I want to print the answer. Okay. If we take the input from user, I can write 10 as the first number. I am writing 0 as the second number. It is going to arithmetic exception, which is nothing but divide by 0. You cannot divide a number by 0, right? This we have seen in the last session also. Now, how to stop the subnormal termination, that I am showing you. This input statement is not a critical statement, right? User can input anything over here, it is okay. But division is a critical statement. Am I correct here? Taking input here is not a critical statement. User can enter any integer number over here, that is okay. But division is a critical statement, is not a simple statement, right? So which of the statements should I handle here? Which of the statement is critical and which should I handle here? Is this one, right? Not even printing this, not even taking the input or not even creating the object of scanner class. Nothing is critical over here except this division operation, right? Then all the statements, mark my words very clearly, all these statements that you think they are critical in your program and they can cause the program to go in abnormal termination, or they can make the abrupt execution of the abrupt stop of the program that can happen at runtime, those kind of statements, or maybe at compile time, both of them, those kind of statements are kept in a block named as try block. Try is, that's the name to this. You are trying this statement, okay? It may or may not cause the exception. It is okay with that. Even if it is causing the exception, try block is able to handle it. Okay. Try block is going to give the method, specific steps for handling this exception, because JVM is not doing it properly. Yeah? JVM is simply terminating the program like this. It is not a correct way. Okay. We are giving our own mechanism of not terminating the program in an abrupt fashion. That is what we are giving solution over here. And for that solution, we need to separate out the critical statements and the simple statement. I have separated it out now. Okay, it may or may not go into exception. If it goes into exception, then you need a catch block for what? For handling the exception. Try and catch, they both go hand in hand. Again, just like if and else, they may not, it is not compulsory to always follow a try block with a catch block. From this point onwards, you have to keep your ears very much open. Hear to me very carefully, okay? Try block is possible to have a try block. Try block can exist even without a catch block, okay? It is not mandatory to always place a catch block, just like if and else. Else is not mandatory. But if you're testing a condition, you're putting a condition in an if condition, it is mandatory to give the if condition over there. But else is not mandatory. Same way, catch is also not mandatory. Okay, mind the statement well. Somebody may ask you that is it always compulsory? There should be at least one catch block for each of the try block. No. And all these are blocks only, huh? They are having the scope of code. See, I'm writing the scope means it is a block over here. Okay. They may ask you that there should be at least one catch block for an individual try block. No, it is not like that. Catch block may or may not exist. I am coming to the purpose of try block again. The statements that you feel that could cause exception or which are critical statements that may lead to abnormal termination of the program, those statements that you want to test or try, they may or may not go into abrupt termination. But if they can go, if they may go, then always put that statement in the try block. Try block is for testing the statements. Whenever the exception is occurring or whenever the divide by 0, in our example, if it is happening divide by 0, then the method, this public static void main, the function in the block of which this code is writing, we are writing this code in this functions body, right? If you are not mentioning the try and catch, if you are not providing this mechanism, automatically the object, when the exception is arising, the object of that exception class, arithmetic exception class, this object is being thrown to JVM. But now I don't want JVM to print this message, meaning that object shouldn't be thrown to JVM. No, I am catching that. Are you identifying the purpose of catch here? Catch is a block of code where you want to give your own explanation of this error. You don't want the JVM to catch this exception, but instead you want to catch that exception. Which exception do you want to catch here? Okay, I want to catch arithmetic exceptions object OB. Are you getting what I'm telling here? Catch block is whatever exception you want to catch, or whatever exception that JVM, that your function is throwing to JVM, whatever exception this main object is throwing to JVM, you are not allowing this main method to throw it to JVM. Instead, you are telling the main method to try and catch that head exception has occurred over here, throw the exception to me, or throw the object to the catch block. The catch block is catching that exceptions object over here, and then you are handling this exception with a meaningful way. The meaningful, I'm just simply giving you one example here. Okay, there are multiple ways of doing it. I'm simply printing the OB over here. Okay, I'm simply printing OB over here, and this error is happening because integer answer is declared inside it. I'm simply declaring answer as 0 here, and then I'm doing this computation. Okay, what is the use of catch block is whatever exception object that your void main was throwing to JVM, you are not asking your void main to throw it to JVM. No. With try and catch, if the exception occurs in this block, that exception object is thrown into this catch block. Catch block is catching that exception. Which exception it is catching? The one that you write in the catch block's argument. Catch block will never have no arguments. Why? Because it is always catching something. What it is catching? The exception object that is thrown by the try block. That it is always catching that exception. Okay. It is catching OP. I am simply printing that OP. Okay, I am simply printing. Or if you want to write some meaningful message over here, that some error has occurred, that you might have divided the number by 0. Okay, you might have done some problem over here. That graceful message you can print here, and again the rest of the program, mind the statements very well. The rest of the program is going to execute in a normal fashion. It will not terminate abruptly. The try block is used to try or put the statements that can or cannot have error. Okay, if it is going to have the error, then exception is occurring. Okay, then the control is passed on to the catch block because catch is catching that exception object. Okay, which one? Whatever is happening over here, no, it is catching by the catch block and it is printing a meaningful message. And again, the rest of the program is executed in a normal fashion. Are you getting this much? Is this much clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
If anybody is having the simplest question also, no, please let me know. I'll help you because it's a very critical topic. Okay. Okay. Okay, good. Okay. Now I'm coming to one more. Okay, good. If it is clear, then it is very good. If it is not clear, again, you can ask me. I'm here if you want, and explain it to you for 1,000th time. I'm okay with that. Okay. Now I'm coming to one more point here. If this exception is not happening in try block, because it is a probable statement, and error is probable, it may or may not happen. Okay, it is possibility is there that it may throw the exception. If the exception is not happening, then catch block has to catch nothing here. So the control will never go to catch block. The catch block is only catching the exception when something is happening over here. If there is no issue over here, means user is entering the correct input and the division is properly happening, then the catch block is completely skipped and the program runs normally. We are seeing both the scenarios. Okay, I'm running the program for both the scenarios. The first scenario, I am entering 10 divided by 10. It is going to print answer 1 and it is printing ends also. There is no execution of this statement, which means that the control has not encountered anything and the program is having the normal execution. Catches is kept over here. Okay, now the exception is happening. I am entering 1 is 10 and 1 is 0. Then you see the program is still executing. Did you see this? If we had not used this try and catch, the JVM is handling in a non-graceful manner. I want to handle it in a proper fashion. I don't want the program to terminate, and it is working very fine. It is thrown over here, the object is cached over here, and accordingly the message is printed, and then it is printing the answer also, which is 0 initially, right? It is not computing anything over here. This statement is not even executed, huh? Once the exception is occurring, this statement is not computed, not executed. So I by j is not stored in answer. So answer is still having its old copy of 0, and it is printing 0 only here. And it is printing ends over here. So try is a block where you can test the statements that can have error. If it is having that exception of error, then the catch block is handling this error by catching that particular exception. Do you have any doubts in this? So far, do you have any queries? What is try? What is catch? What is the use of try? What kind of statements do we put in try? No questions so far? Okay. Okay, good. Now I'm showing you one more thing. If the exception is occurring, okay, and after this I want to print something. Say for example, I am simply printing here the value of ij, okay. ij, I am simply printing the value of ij. If the exception is not occurring, then I and j both are printed as execution is normally happening. But now, see the output, okay? If the exception is occurring, then the rest of the block of the try block statement, the rest of the statements of the try block are skipped. Why they are skipped? From the point where the exception is happening, the rest of the statements of a try block are always skipped. Why it is skipped? Because the control of the program is here in the catch block. It is printing this statement. It will never go back. No, it will never go back to the try block. It is not a loop over here, right? If you are having the error in this statement, then the control is going to the catch block. The catch block is executed, and then the rest of the program is executed properly. But the control will never go back to the try block, okay? The reason I'm telling you this is, if you want to test multiple statements that can have error, okay, I'm showing you one thing. If you want to test multiple statements that can have error, okay, I'm creating one array over here, okay, and I am also printing here a of 10, which doesn't exist over here, okay, a of 10 which is not there. If you want to test multiple statements over here which can have error, okay, it is always advisable to see, it is only showing me the first error. It is never showing me that array index out of bound is happening, because it is skipping the statements here. As soon as the control is transferred over here, it is never going back to the try block. It is not a loop. It is going to execute in a sequential fashion only. That is the first thing. Second thing, if you want to test for multiple exceptions, it is always advisable to create multiple try catch blocks. Okay, I am reminding you once again, the reason it is insisted advisable to create multiple try catch blocks is because one try block, if the exception is occurring in any one of the statement, no, then automatically the control is going to the respective catch block. It is not executing the rest of the statements, means it is not even seen, not even tested. So it is always advisable to use multiple pair of try catch blocks for handling multiple exceptions. Okay, I can print here, now I can print here, I can now print here AR of 10, okay, or I can, print here, yes, it is having the value size 3 only, I can print here AR of 10, and in this catch block, as it is out of bound exception, I can write here array, it is automatically going to show you the exception list, okay, array index out of bound, and I'm creating the object OB for it, and now in this case, I'm simply printing OB. Okay, in this case, I was printing the proper message. In this case, whatever object is catched by this exception, no, I'm simply printing the OB object. Okay, and then the rest of the program is occurring properly. I'm using 2 set of try catch over here. You can use infinite number of try catch. There is no problem in that. Okay, I'm entering 10. I'm entering 0. It is going into divide by 0. Then it is showing me this array index out of bound exception OB is there. No, it is showing me that this exception is happening at line number 10. See, you are not printing your own message over here. You are printing the object directly. Or you can even call this method toString. Okay, any class that is having the object of class exception will have the toString method for printing the correct message. If, now see the output here, the output is the same. Another thing that I want to show you, apart from this, also keep your mind open today. I'm showing you so many things today. Your this SOP statements, no, that you are writing, okay, SOP statement that you are writing, whatever object that you are writing over here, I am printing OB here. It is not printing the memory location of OB. Mind well, this we have seen in your, if okay, let me show it to you. If you have a class, okay, I am showing you multiple things here. Okay, if you have a class and you create this class's object test, and now if you print this OB, it is going to print, I'm changing, okay, yes, it is going to print the memory location of this OB. See, hexadecimal memory location, this we have seen previously also. For all your user-defined classes, okay, not for predefined, it is for user-defined classes. You have created a class, you are creating the object, you are printing it like this. But for all the predefined classes that exist in this Java library, whenever you are printing the object OB, it is by default automatically calling this toString function that is having certain meaningful message inside it. Even you can have your own toString function. If you want, you can have your own toString function here, okay, that is printing some meaningful or returning some meaningful message here, okay. It is, you can have your own, you know, have your own string over here. It is okay, right? String, what it is showing here. Okay, yes, you have to make it public. There you go. Yes, it is a predefined method for every class that you are. See, it is showing me here something. Why? It is showing override. Do you see this? Do you see this? Have I extended it from any class? No, it is still showing me override because any of the class that you are creating always will extend the superclass of all the class known as object. I am going to open this later on, not today, but I am coming to this point. Every class that is predefined in Java will have this toString function already there. So even if you are printing simple OB, it is automatically calling the toString function, or you print toString or you print OB, both are same. Are you getting this? To what level I am taking you? Are you getting this level or not? Yes. Are you getting what I am doing here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Anybody is having any doubt so far? You can shoot your questions. Okay. Good. If you're having any questions, just unmute yourself and talk to me. Okay. Now I am coming here. Either you can put OB or you can put OB.toString. Both are same. Where was I? Yes, I was here. I was showing you multiple try catch block can exist in one program. You can write multiple different blocks. Now, one more thing I want to show you. For one try block, there could be multiple catch blocks also. Okay. I may want to check array index out of bound here. What does that mean? I am checking array index out of bound here. I am printing here, you know, simply OB. Okay. I am again, you know, calling negative array size exception here. And I am simply, you know, printing OB.toString. Okay. I am printing different messages over here. For the code that you are testing, for one try block, there can be multiple catch blocks. There can be 0 or more catch blocks. Okay. For one try. For just one try block, there could be 0 or more catch blocks, right? 0 or greater than 0 catch blocks can exist for one try block. Why it is like that I am showing it to you? Why it is like this? Why you can have multiple catch blocks that I am showing it to you? But if exception is arising in multiple statements, okay. Now see this. I am printing array of 10, and at the same time I am also creating one array 1, which is of size, which is of negative size. Negative, say for example 10. If this I by 0 is occurring properly, means if division operation is occurring properly, there is no exception over here, then it is checking the second statement. If this is an exception, then mark my words, the matching catch block is always executed. The matching catch block, meaning for whatever error it is currently throwing, that particular error is only catched by the matching catch block. This will never catch arithmetic exception, even if it is listed first. No, it is going to catch the correct exception only, the meaningful and the matching exception only it is going to catch. This will never catch negative array size exception. No, this will only catch array index out of bound exception. Let us run and check this thing. You can have multiple catch blocks for sure. Okay, I'm writing 10 and 5. See, it is only catching array index out of bound. It is very smart. And again, from this point onwards, rest of the statements are skipped and they are not even seen. So it is not executing this at all because exception has occurred in this statement. This executed fine. See, it is showing me 2 over here. 10 by 5 is showing me 2 over here. Answer is replaced with 2. Okay. But this statement is not even executed. Now, if I print your array of 1, then the negative array size exception will be caught. If you're entering the correct details for I and j, then negative array size exception is caught, and this is finding the matching catch block. Okay. From this point onwards, the execution is terminated. Means after this, whatever statements are there here, they will not be seen. But this is going to catch this exception over here in this matching catch block. Okay. Do you have any questions in what is try, what is catch? One try can have 0 catch. That I'm showing you now. Okay. Why one try can have 0 catch? This we haven't seen yet. Okay, it is left. But it can have 1 or more than 1 catch block. If that is the case, then the matching catch block is only executed. Other catch blocks are not even seen. Do you have any questions in this? ToString method must be abstract method in object class. It is overridden, but it is, yes, you are right actually. The thing is, it is not abstract. It is non-abstract. But you can always override non-abstract method also. That also you remember, right? Any method which is non-abstract, even that you can override. No, getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Object is known as what we call it. It is, actually the cosmic superclass. From object class itself, every single class is derived in Java, and it is the superclass. But ToString method is not abstract. It is non-abstract only. You can override it in whichever way you want. Got it? Yes. Because, see, the reason I am telling you like this is, if it was the abstract method, then the object class would be abstract class, right? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
And if the object class is abstract class, then what are methods which are abstract in that class? No. Your class will have to be the body compulsorily all this method. You are not giving the list of all the methods here, right? See, this is the reason it is non-abstract. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Now coming here. Okay, anybody is having any questions so far? No questions, right? Okay. Now I'm coming to the sequence of writing this catch block. Okay. See, if you remember, I have told you in the last class, the superclass is throwable. Okay. The things that can be thrown is in throwable class. Throwable can either throw error, okay, or it can throw exception. Okay. And all these classes, negative array size, null pointer, array index out of bound, string index out of bound, all these classes are subclasses of exception superclass, right? If you remember this, that I've explained it to you in the last session. Also, exception is the subclass of class throwable, meaning if you go, where is that? Okay. If you go and see this, see your JDK source, if you go and see your JDK source, then in your lang package itself, it is there. Exception is there in the lang package itself. See, and it is extended by throwable. It is a subclass of throwable. Same is the error class. Okay. Same is error class also. It is again the subclass of class throwable, right? And all these classes which are stack overflow, which are out of memory, which is negative array size, every single exception or error class is respectively the subclass of error or exception category. Now, the reason I am again reminding you that is I want to show you here something. If there is one thing that I want to show, then I can show. Okay, let me show you the first thing, then I can show the other thing. Okay, I am as the exception is the superclass of all the exceptions. Okay, be it negative array size, be it null pointer, be it array index, be it string index. Okay, any of the exceptions that you have seen so far and that you are going to see beyond, exception is a superclass of all the exceptions. Okay, just like error is a superclass of out of memory and stack of error, you have same as exception. It is okay not to mention the exact exception class here. Remember, mark my words very carefully. It is okay to not to mention the exact happening exception here correctly. If I had only this statement, it is okay not to mention the subclass. I can directly mention the superclass, okay? Because this exception is actually the superclass of all the exceptions. So whenever you are printing this object, it automatically knows that it is arithmetic. See, I'll show it to you. See, it is knowing it is arithmetic, okay? Even if you are trying to access this A of 10, okay, AR of 10, if you're trying to access again, it is knowing that it is this subclass. It can print all the exception messages because it is already knowing that it is coming from, you know, the superclass exception, okay. Why, what happened? Let me run it again. Yes. Okay, it is accepting input. I forgot to add the input. Yes, see, it is giving you array index out of bound 10. So it is okay to mention the superclass here for exception. Now, I'm showing you one more thing. If you want to mention individual classes like the way you have mentioned initially, okay? Initially, when you mentioned all the classes, where you have mentioned all the classes here, see, here, you have mentioned individual classes over here, right? Arithmetic, array index, negative, everything you have mentioned. Okay, you are good to go here also. If you want to catch multiple exceptions, you are doing like this. You can also, see, you can also create one more catch block just in case if the exception that you have listed here, it is not matching it. If you are accessing a null pointer exception here, say for example, you are creating a null string and you are accessing the length, it is null pointer exception, okay. String str equals to, I am mentioning here null, and I am printing the length of the string, okay. I am printing, or maybe caret 0 I am printing, okay. Anything I am printing over here, it is okay to mention the last class as exception over here. Why I am telling you that? Because if this exception is not being catched by any of the exceptions over here, it will be definitely catched by the superclass exception. Are you getting the use of mentioning the superclass exception over here? It may happen that whatever you have listed here, no, the exceptions are not falling in this catch block, or they are not catching this exception. Then if it's not mentioned over here, then at last you can mention the superclass which will catch all the exceptions that you have listed over here. But if you want to print individual message, okay, if you want to print individual message here itself, it is always advisable to catch individual, you know, exceptions like this. Why? Because you can print your customized message over here. If you are printing exceptions class, if you are catching exception class, it is going to be a generalized message, okay. Generalized message will be there because I don't know which category I am currently falling the exception into, right? So for null pointer, it is going to show you a generalized message over here. It is not falling in any of the trap. It is going to show, control is going to go over here. It is going to print a generalized message over here. It is always advisable to catch the exceptions in the proper fashion, but you can also mention the superclass like this, printing a generic message. The point I am trying to convey here is that the sequence of exception, okay, see the sequence. I cannot mention exception over here. Why? It is the superclass of all the exceptions, okay. After this, I cannot mention any subclass. It is showing me that negative array exception is already been caught. By which catch? This second catch. The reason I kept this exception at last was It is the superclass. It can catch any of the exceptions that are occurring in the try block. So it is always, you have to compulsorily mention, if you want to catch it, then always mention the last superclass at last only. Because if you are mentioning in between, the rest of the exceptions will show you the error, because it is the probable exception that could happen. They can already be caught by this exception. You need not to mention these sub exceptions after this. Are you getting the sequence here? I cannot mention null pointer here. Why? Because it is already being cached by the superclass, right? I cannot mention null pointer because it is already being cached by the superclass exception. That is the reason I cannot mention anything over here. Are you getting the sequence of exception clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you getting the multiple cache blocks? Why do we use multiple cache block? Because for printing your customized message, you may want to print a message properly, you can use it. But again, if you don't want to print a message properly, you can simply print OB again, that is okay. Okay. And is anybody having any questions in what is try, what is catch, multiple cache blocks you can use like this? Okay. We haven't disclosed this yet, that there could be zero catch also. I'm going to show you it later on. But so far, is anybody having any question? Okay, good. Okay, good. Yes. Okay, then I don't want to show this to you. It is a good topic. I don't want to show it to you today itself. But one small thing I'll show, you will understand it very easily. This, you have seen this, right? OB, you can print the message using OB itself. There are three ways, okay? This is the first way. The first way for printing the message is using simply OB. The second way is same only, okay? Second way is same only. It is going to print the same output, OB.toString. Okay. Third way I am showing it to you, OB.printStackTrace. These are the different methods with which you can, print this message. It is void. I don't need SOPLN over here. And there's one more way is there. There are four ways. Sorry, not three ways. There are four. There is one more way. OB.getMessage. Okay, it is a string. Okay, just see the difference in all of them's output. Okay, let us see what difference does it make when you use this. I am simply, or we can. Okay. I am simply deleting all the catch blocks from here itself. It is going to show the message for divide by 0 initially. Okay. I am showing you the messages for divide by 0 with all the four methods. Okay, see what it is printing. Okay, it is taking input. I forgot to give the input. Yes. See it is printing. See the first one, printing OB and printing this toString, both are same only, right? This printStackTrace is going to call system.error.println. Okay, you haven't used error.println because it is an error. See, you have used us out, right? You have used out.println for printing something, but you also have system.error, which is going to show you something in red colored fonts. Okay, if you want to print error message to user, no, you can use this. It is going to print hello in red colored font. It is showing you the same message, but with a different font color, printStackTrace, okay? And the last get message is going to give you the exact message only, not giving you the class name and giving you the only messages done by get message. Are you getting the differences between these four methods? First and two, both are same only. You can print the exception messages to user in your own way also, okay? You can print your own messages also, or you can choose to print the object itself. If you are printing the OB and toString, it is going to give you the exception class along with the exception message. And printStackTrace exception class, exception message, but with error, ERR, means it is going to show you red colored font. And the last is OB.getMessage, which is simply printing only the message, not the exception class. Okay, these are the differences between these four methods of printing this. Okay, anybody is having any questions so far, you can let me know. No questions? Okay, good. Then we are done for the session. I don't want to extend the session. You are done. Yes, good. Yes, I'll take the attendance and then you all can leave. Yes, Ayush,
Present, ma'am.
Rohan,
Present, ma'am.
Vipin,
Present, ma'am.
Manav,
Yes, ma'am.
Anuj,
Yes, ma'am.
Riddhi,
Present, ma'am.
Didi,
Present, ma'am.
Yashwaj, Tash, Mansi,
Yes, ma'am.
Nikita,
Present, ma'am.
Manthan,
Present, ma'am.
Smith Kumar,
Present, ma'am.
Devansh,
Present, ma'am.
Pala, Yashank,
Yes, ma'am.
Dipen, Tushar,
Present, ma'am. Ma'am, Divyajit present.
Pala is there. Okay. Yes. Yash,
Present.
yes. Manyar,
Present, ma'am.
Parmar,
Present, ma'am.
Udayraj,
Present, ma'am.
Rishabh, is there. Ivanchi,
Present, ma'am.
Janvi,
Present, ma'am.
Bhanushali, Harshvardhan, who was there? Vijayaraj,
Present, ma'am.
Vidhanya,
Present, ma'am.
yes. Bharti,
Present, ma'am.
Avinash,
Present, ma'am.
Pranjul, Limbani, Arjan, Maharana,
Yes, ma'am.
yes. Tanmeraj,
Yes, ma'am.
Vignesh Prasad,
Present, ma'am.
Manjwani,
Present, ma'am.
Kapil Prasad, yes, yes.
Present, ma'am.
Dhruvi,
Yes, ma'am.
yes. Netik, Dharmik,
Present, ma'am.
yes. Mohammed, Krunal,
Present, ma'am.
Nidhi,
Present, ma'am.
Arpit,
Present, ma'am.
Meghna, Yash,
Ma'am, AI 39.
Meghna is there, yes. Bhavdeep, Divya, Stefali,
Yes, ma'am.
yes. Samir Alam,
Present, ma'am.
Isha,
Present, ma'am.
Vibhusha,
Present, ma'am.
Om Parik, Aditya,
Present, ma'am.
Riplani,
Present.
Aditya, Jayadakan, Priyank,
Present, ma'am.
Tushar,
Present, ma'am.
Nikita, Girish, Pratik,
Yes, ma'am.
yes. Enrollment number 62. She is there. 61, 59, 60, 63,
Yes, ma'am.
yes. Hima,
Present, madam.
yes. 65, 73,
Madam, A65 is present, madam. His mic is not working, ma'am.
yes.
Excuse me, ma'am. AI 58 also, ma'am. मैं 2 मिनट के लिए बाहर चला गया. Ma'am, AI
Yes.
25.
20,
25.
20. Arjun,
5.
Arjun, right?
हाँ मैम.
Yes, yes, I have marked you as present. 73? Is there.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Mohammed is there. Darshan Raj?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Pradeep? Kriti? Vaishali?
Present, ma'am.
Yes. Vasu?
Present, ma'am.
Kunal?
Present, ma'am.
Aliward? Yes, if you have questions, you can say. Okay, Divya, I'll mark you as present 1 minute. Somebody is typing so fast. Udayraj is typing so fast. Yes, Divya, wait, I'll mark. Divya, what is your enrollment number? 45. Yes, I've marked you as present. Yash, you also. Yes, you also have marked. Dipen. Yes, Dipen, you also. Harshvardhan, you also have marked present. Yes, yes. Yes, yes, no problem. Yeah.